Good evening, interwebs. Happy Friday to everyone. It's Friday evening. Got some orange and blue on tonight for my beloved Astros. Thought about wearing a old school rainbow Nolan Ryan jersey, but opted not to because I'm fixing to go eat and I didn't want to get food on it. So I don't even know when the last time I did one is, and that's okay. Couple of thoughts though. One is a thank you to moms. My mom in particular, my mother-in-law as well. Awesome folks, and man, they do amazing things on a daily basis, which then leads me to my wonderful and awesome wife, Carrie, who is a wonderful mom as well. And that's a just tough business, and also to you dads out there. I'm a lot going this week, and it's just life, man, life, which is going to be kind of the theme of my my little message here tonight for the video. But loving kids is hard business. Being there for them, being patient, and I guess another way to think of that too is that think about how the good Lord looks at you, each one of His kids, and how hard that can be. So, video today. I'm doing a lot of looking here in the last few days. Had some training assignments. It seems like that seems to be the regular lately. And I'm always looking for ways to be more emotionally sophisticated. I think the better way to think of it is you've seen me or heard me, you know I'm a fan of the concept of emotional intelligence. I think it's biblically rooted as well, but that's maybe a different video. But a guy that I like a lot, read a lot, watched some of his videos. He's got a really cool website. And in my research this week, looking for some new training content, there's a guy named Dr. Jordan Peterson. He hit the radar for political discussion reason that I think is a very narrow view. But he's a psychologist out of Canada from the University of Toronto. He's a clinical psychologist. And I was watching a video someone had put together built around about 8 minutes of a speech that he gave. And a couple of sentences really jumped off. It was really one, but I wanted to incorporate in the bigger, a little bit bigger picture, a little more context. And so here's a quote from one of the speeches that he was given. Life is a very difficult business, you know. It's fatal. Don't lose sight of that. We're all terminal, ladies and gentlemen. But it's fatal, and it's full of suffering, and it's full of betrayal and malevolence. But here's really the sentence that really jumped out to me. There's nothing about it that's trivial. It's all profound. And something I end classes with sometimes, or at least towards the end of class, if I've spent a lot of time with folks, I want to remind them that this was deliberate. This was providential. God put us together. And it isn't just for the purposes of a training class. That's everyday life. You are moving through life providentially with a purpose. We may not always understand it in the moment. Sometimes things are happening, and that's that difficulty, the suffering, the betrayal, the malevolence, because it's going to lead to something that we can turn to a positive. And that was kind of the bigger context of Dr. Peterson's message in this particular speech, at least around this area, but that it isn't trivial. Like, every moment matters. It's all profound, and there is a purpose for why and how we interact. And we may not always get it, and it may not capture your attention, but it may very well be captured by someone else that's involved in the exchange. And so, especially if you're in a leadership or a mentoring role, or you're giving, to your kids, think about what they remember and what's important to them that may not have jumped out at you as being important, but it meant something to them in this exchange. So I really loved that sentence and wanted to emphasize that we all have a purpose. Like, every interaction, every exchange is meaningful, even if it's minimal meaning, but it all builds towards the next experience, the next exchange, the next interaction. If we don't lose sight of that, there's power in that. And as I often like to do, I go to Scripture, so I'm not suggesting that Peterson is on a scriptural level or biblical level. He does give some ties to that. I think he's a person of faith, as he's shared. But I got into Proverbs, in Proverbs 16:9. In their hearts, humans plan their course, but the Lord establishes their steps. And again, it's that reminder. I tend to be that red letter New Testament guy, but you find these nuggets throughout, and this is one I pulled out in the spirit of what I hope you get out of this message today, is that you may be planning today, you may be planning tomorrow, next week, next month, for crying out loud. Hell, we ought to be planning the next years of our lives, and what that looks like as we move through life and our careers and our life stages. But the Lord is making those steps. As we make those plans and we have that course and we're moving in a direction that we intend to go, the Lord will put up the proper barriers, the proper detours, the proper navigation points. The signs that we may not always understand are coming from Him to get us where we want to be. My lovely sidekicks are giving me a cue. I should probably wind it up, so I will, as they're contributing their part. That was divine. There's no other way to look at that if you're going to consider the message that I'm giving today. So know this, you're loved. Good Lord loves you. I love you. Be well. Take care of yourself. You deserve it. You're important, and it has meaning. God bless. Love you guys.